So I went to school, right, to find out why I couldn't get my diploma. It took me a while to give to even care, right, about the situation, because my life is full of people who are not helping me but just want something from me. Like whether it be I need to be there for the children, I need to do this and to do that. It is my fault for being ignorant. You know? I was ignorant, not knowing that there were people all over who more worried about what they want instead of what's best for everybody. And when I finally learned that, I was already at this age. Because it was confusing to me how I would have to think that there would be someone ignorant beyond ignorance itself. Because in order for me to provide and do what I need to do for my children, I have to have room to do it. If I'm trying to get my life together, how is there any room for children? To me, that is the most basic form of common sense possible. When growing up in an environment where it looks like somebody should have been thinking about the future before they had children. But we don't have an environment that consists of individuals, mainly females, who take into that consideration. Of course, me and the female know the consequences of our actions, but the female still has final say-so. There wouldn't have been nothing I can do had each individual female that claimed to be my baby mother or claimed to have had a child by me up and decided not to keep the child. So I don't think I have responsibility of the child physically being there in an environment where the female has final say-so. Because had the final say-so been mine, they wouldn't have had my children. And they noticed and they punished me for it. Which is very, very, very confusing. To somebody who thinks logically. And nor do I believe that there's an individual incapable of logically thinking for themselves in a way where it makes sense. It's almost as if you know that you are in no position to hold this knife because it's gonna cut you. You know that this knife is gonna cut you because you're not prepared to handle a knife. So you grasp the knife anyway and get mad at the knife's creator instead of the individual who had the option to grab the knife or not, which would be you if you were that person. There's no way I can think like that because there's no way that any individual in existence should be able to think like that in the first place without knowing that the consequences of their actions were their own. Now, this society has created an oxymorons who believe that they can make any choice they want as far as children being birthed or not, and it be somebody else's responsibility as to the environment that they're in. You understand? I'm sorry if I think it makes more sense to at least be in a stable environment before you have a child. Everybody say, oh, well, this person did this and this person did that, and they said they were okay. But if they really was honest with themselves, they would let them know that it wasn't okay. They're managing. It's not okay. It's not okay that the child's father is not there. Because it's really not. It's not okay that, there's multiple people in and out of both parents' life. Who is this? This my new stepmother? Who is this? My new stepfather? It's not okay for none of this, but somehow they know the female's weakness, which is logic. Thinking and taking on this responsibility. They know that through years of statistics. What the statistics show? They show that majority of the females have children by men that they're not with. They're either with another man or another female to this day. I don't really know too many people who have one baby father or is still with their baby father, who have been with their baby for years. And just because it's okay in their mind, they think it's okay in general. When growing up, they know if they were in that situation, it really wasn't okay. I'm sorry if I'm too smart to be stupid when technically it's not really intelligence being evaluated here. It is common sense. It's common sense. Like when my baby mother had my first child, she knew I didn't want him. Second, knew I didn't want him. Third, said I didn't even have to worry about the child. Fourth, had the child for somebody else. Fifth, had a child when I was in jump off mode. Like, we're not even serious. Like, you don't even know my family. I don't even know your family. Why would I ever believe that I should worry about an individual that has no reason to have my child would have my child? So you're just going to have a child because you decided this is what I want to do. But fail to realize that if that's what you want to do, and you alone should bear the burden of that decision you made. Not make a decision on your own that will require you to be alone to make, that will ultimately leave you alone. It doesn't make any sense to make that decision and think that somebody else should be there to bear the weight of your decision with you, because you use them to make that decision. I didn't ask none of my baby mothers to use me in any way, shape, or form to make their decisions. I always told them to make their decisions on their own, because you alone will be making that decision, because it doesn't even make no sense to make that decision. Some told me, hey, you don't believe in abortions, so why should I get an abortion? Because you do. You believe in abortions. You've had them before. And there's no reason for you to even care what I think. I only answer the question verbatim, like, no, I don't believe in abortions. But at the same time, I will take you there if you make that decision. But if you make this decision on your own, do not drag me in the decision with you when it doesn't even make no sense for us to be in this situation in the first place. And the only real reason why I said that, because honestly, it's not whether I believe in abortions or not, which is relevant, because I actually don't really care whether you keep the child or not, is that I know what a female will do with my decision. She's going to turn the decision that I made against me. So if I say I believe in abortions and I want the child aborted, what she will do is possibly keep the child and then tell the child I didn't want the child to be there. Will still put me on child support for the decision that they made. And then if I try to come to see the child that she kept for no reason and try to give this child a father figure in their life, that they will look at me like, why am I there? Why I say that? Because I wanted the first one aborted, and I wanted the second one aborted, and I was told the third one was going to get aborted. All three were here, and all three times the females did exactly that. So after Khalif, Khalik, and Jalil, I knew it was nothing I could do or say, but I felt like I needed to say that, because you cannot trust a female's decision, because it's purely based off emotions that they have no control over. They don't have no control over their emotions, not because they really don't have control over their emotions. It's because they've been given an excuse not to be responsible for their actions. So, with that being said, they take that excuse, which is they're not in control of their emotions, and run with it. Because I'm telling you, I was just amazed and perplexed as to the first three having my children, when it was no reason for them to do so. I was so confused. I was distraught. It's crazy. But I sat there. I went to the office to find out, okay, why I ain't get my diploma. And I knew that, you know what I mean, it was because I couldn't get my work in on time and stuff like that. It wasn't like I wasn't trying to do my work. It wasn't like I wasn't trying to get my diploma. Got 130 something credits. All I needed was 120 credits to graduate. It's just that I couldn't focus my mind. I couldn't focus my mind on what I was doing because I had so many distractions. One thing a female will do will distract you. They need your attention. That's the worst part about a female. I hate it to the utmost. They need your undivided attention. They always need your attention. Why? Because they're children. they got ADHD. They easily distracted by things all the time. Now, ADHD is not a bad thing if you know what your problem is. If you know what your problem is, you can control your problem by like making sure that you don't mess up. Like being able to like pay attention to everything around you is kind of like ADHD, because every little thing, every little inconsistency draws your attention, right? But their inconsistencies in the way they think is not governed in the right manner, in the right way. So now they believe that they supposed to think a certain way or do a certain thing according to what their lesser selves believe. And their lesser selves is the past. The past is all the individuals who've been through stuff, who carry baggage, and ask them to hold and carry the same baggage with them. So these females go around telling, hey, this man ain't this, man ain't that, blah, 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 blah. Just basically spreading a generational curse. Because they failed, they believe others gonna fail the way they failed, because that's what they believe. When in fact, you're actually imposing, or you're actually preying on a downfall due to the fact that you have no faith and belief in them. You believe that they're gonna mess up. You believe that they're gonna fail. And it would make sense if you can see similar characteristics, or you see traits, similarities, and inconsistencies. But that's not what it is. That's not what happened. What's happening is, they just being ignorant and not thinking logically. So it's like I kept getting distracted. I couldn't focus. Kept getting kicked out. I'm like, hey man, I can't watch a child and do my work and go to work. Like, I have to go to school, I have to go to work, and I have to have somebody watch my child. And when the female is doing it, she has abundance of help, options. You got family members that want to help you, because most of these family members are females. But when you're a male, the females want to punish you. They don't want to help you because you're not a female. So they want to punish you for being a male. They don't want to see you succeed by getting help from them, because males didn't help them. But when it comes to taking care of a child, who else is going to help but a female? Females are more inclined to help than males, because males do more working and going outside, leaving their own children behind. So who else could I possibly have? It's common sense. So I had to deal with that. I had an incomplete grade. One incomplete grade prevented me from getting my college degree in social sciences. I basically owed them $500-$600. And then, aside from that, if they don't fix the problem, I have to pay to take the class over. That's the part that got me. That's the part that took me by surprise. Like, so one class set me back. Now, ever since 2014, I believe, 2014, 2015, I've been going to school. It's almost been 10 years to get a 4-year college degree. And the reason why I keep bringing my baby mothers up is because all I can think of is they're the reason why I can't, because I need to focus. I need to do this and I need to do that. And every time I put these variables into the equation, it's like I had the power to pick all of the wrong ones. Like all of the wrong females. All of the wrong females. These females were no good to me. All they could give me were burdens. Responsibilities I didn't want or ask for. Situations I didn't want or ask for. Problems I never wanted or asked for. That's all they were good for, to me. You're like, oh, wasn't saying that when we was having sex. Who would? Had plenty of sex partners. They never said, oh, I want to have your child, keep your child, because we knew what it was. It was just these individuals who were separate, who decided to make absolutely no sense. I got baby mothers that love to drink and party with their friends, who had more respect for their friends than anything. What hurted me was why didn't they decide to have kids with their friends? Then I'm looking at the situation. I think they looked at me as a friend. And I'm like, I wish I'd have known that these were the type of people that have kids by friends that they barely knew. Because I'm telling you, when I sit up there and I really argue with them about the situation, they don't realize that I'm arguing because I don't know why I'm their baby father. I don't know why. You don't even know who my grandmother, my father, my aunts, my cousin. You don't know none of these people. Meaning that our relationship was not even deep enough for you to even have a child by. Because I talk to my family all the time. I'm around my family all the time. If I never brought you around my family, I would never in a million years think that you would think it makes sense for you to have my child. Because by then, if you never get to see my family, you know your position in my life. It's not that serious. It's just based off whatever we have going on. And if all we have going on is sex, then that's all it is. We didn't plan no future together. We're not trying to map these things out, because that's the only reason why I believe we will have children is if we're like planning how we're gonna live together. We so deep in love, like we know we're gonna be together. When you know you're gonna be with a person for an extended time, then it makes sense to have a child. But these females are very selfish because the responsibility has been taken away from them. And the power to do whatever they want has been given to them. So what I've been doing was I've been educating my daughters and I've been educating my sons that in no way, shape, or form should we continue this generational curse. Because your mother wants to make it seem like it's my fault for her being my baby mother when she has the power to do that, not me. I tell my kids, respect your mother, because to be honest, the only reason why you're here is because of her, in her alone. But I said, don't disrespect me, because I've been cursed to be her baby father, not to be your father. but to be her baby father, because her genetic, her genes, her way of thinking is a curse to me, because it's stupid. There's no way to go around it. It makes absolutely no sense. And if you can't make any sense, you can't be making children. Because your children is going to be just as stupid as you. So it's me fearing the worst, trying to prevent the worst from happening. I'm in some of my kids' life, and I'm not in some of my kids' life. And I'm telling you, it's for scientific studies. I'm going to prove that the females are messing up these kids' lives, not the men. Because I'm in some of my kids' life, and I'm not in some. We're going to see what happens to them when dealing with these type of individuals. Because not all females are like my baby mother. There's females who were in legit relationships, who are lied to by their man, who are cheated on by their man, who are physically abused, assaulted, verbally, emotionally, physically, by their baby father, before they decided to. It's more important that my child not be in that environment than to keep them in that environment. My baby mothers can't say that about me. They can't bring up one individual that they caught me cheating with. Not one. Not a single one. They can't go and bring up one single incident where I put my hands on them because I was angry. I was just mad. They can't bring up incidents like, oh, all he did was hit on me, he punched me in my eye, he gave me a black eye, he bust my lip. They can't say that I just did something like that because I was angry. They can't bring it up because because God knows the truth. Like, in order for me to put my hands on anybody, you have to put your hands on me first. You got some trying to downplay their actions. Oh, I ain't hit you that hard. Oh, I ain't hit you like that. The simple fact of the matter is, you admit that you put your hands on me. No matter how you may have seen it or want to see it, that's what you did. And you realize that in order for me to have did anything to you physically, you had to physically have done something to me first. Especially when it's around my children. My children will not, in no way, shape, or form, think that I'm inferior to any being, to the point where they could put their hands on me and not have to deal with the repercussions of their actions, whoever they are. That's why I pray the police don't try to put their hands on me in front of my kids. Because if I feel like it's disrespectful and it's unwarranted, my hands are going to fly. And I'm going to go to jail, and then I'm going to come back and do some things I cannot say on this video. So what I'm trying to say is, like, for future references, make sure that if you have an incomplete grade, you get it corrected, because I had no idea that they just turned an incomplete grade into an F because the teacher failed to grade it. I'm not understanding how they failed to realize that I have nothing to do with that incomplete grade, and that is the teacher's folly, not mine. And to pull out, wear condoms, and never trust a female. Because in the society, in the environment that we're in, it doesn't make no sense to. But please pay attention to the variables that equate to the situation. Know that if a female and you are close, of course it makes sense for her to feel like it's okay to do something. Because if y'all are really in love, that's what y'all are. But if y'all are not, do not trust her for 1 second. Because that 1 second can destroy your entire life.